Okay. Let's see. What pastime? A pastime was nothing. I mean, take it a bit back by just when I'm in the. See, this is the really hard part. This is the hard part. I mean, he took our money, so I feel like he's lying. He's definitely lying. Without question. He's definitely a lying liar. From Lyville. I'm trying to do this on my own. You know? Why do I have a note from my mom? No. All right, here we go. Let's read this. He's a writer, you know. I don't see it in any of these, so we're gonna have to find it somewhere else. Maybe we find it in dialogue somewhere. I think it might be something to do with his coming home late or something. Or staying up all night, whatever. I swear there's got to be something in here with his wife. There's gotta be. All this worry and coming home late? I think I know what it is. He has a mistress. There it is. There it is, right there. We spoke to your wife. She told us you've left your house in the middle of the night on more than one occasion. It's rather embarrassing. It's something I wanted to keep private. Fine. Being dean of the university certainly comes with prestige. You get invited to endless rounds of tea everywhere in the city, conferences, and all that. But do you know what that's got me in over my 40-year career? Not much. What do they think about us in the ministries? That we're all crusty old... Oh, I forgot to start the timer. We're all crusty old codgers. We need to eat, heat, and dress ourselves too. And have you seen my wife? I've got appearances to keep up, you know. I'll think it's the stuff of old. Yeah. But my wife, yeah, she values money. That's right. You're a rich old person. You gotta explain that she needs to watch her spending. So yes, I got back into the forgery business. There's demand for it. Nothing big, just a odd little thing. I don't want to look bad in front of my wife, my colleagues, the whole city. I got back into counterfeiting. It pays well. There you go. Happy now? Am I happy now? Are we supposed to... I feel like we're supposed to tie this to the money, because he used the money for something else. That's what I kind of feel like right now. You know? Let's try that. I found the note I put in the dead drop and donated to... I found the note I put into the dead drop and donated to charity. I should have known. Of course the dead drop was you. Crafty little buggers. Well, have fun, did ya? Don't fix what isn't broken. Dead drops are always so effective. Well, I do it for fun too, to pass the time. I know it might be hard for you youngsters to understand, but for me, the resistance to secrecy was hard and dangerous, and every moment could have been our last. But we felt so alive, serving a purpose, a greater cause as it were. Look at me now. I'm a little old, just hitting retirement, trying to stay in the game. I suppose crime keeps you young. I keep myself busy. Some people take up golf, fishing, or bridge. I've gone back to what I still know how to do best. That's it. I'm tired of playing the noble. Believe me, it's all ancient history now. The university is moving. It's high time I stopped all this childlessness. I was going to get myself into hot water eventually anyway. That's all finished now. All these little secrets. Okay, what's the next one? God, this is so hard. This is so hard. Keep myself busy. Going back to... Tired of playing little... Believe me. Time to get back to where it's all finished now. Is it? Is it all finished now? I feel like this is it's all finished now. I feel like he's not finished. Maybe the passport. Wait, did this happen recently? Did this thing happen recently? Like, this killing? Did that happen recently? Because... this no... We established that he killed him. Did that happen recently? I'm so confused. I'm really confused right now. See if he said something. And we're talking about her, okay. So I feel like it's gotta be some sort of document. Just based on the fact that we wouldn't have had to talk to people about a lot of this stuff. So, you know, it's almost gotta be some sort of document. Maybe this. Did we already do this one? I'm just gonna try practically everything now. Who's that? Oh, that's about his thing. Not that one. What? How? No! The game just crashed. The game just crashed. Well, there you go. The game just crashed. I did not expect that. Jeez, I wonder
this
where...
This game is jank.
I wonder where it's gonna throw us.
Boo earns. Boo earns.
I got a little code error. It said code error. Code error.
You're bad and you should feel bad.
The game should feel bad.
Jankin'.
I was not expecting a crash. Let's see where we are. We probably didn't lose much.
This game is jankified.
Yeah, okay. So basically we didn't lose a whole lot. Despite the glitch, it saved like right after our last thing. Okay, this one. Pretty sure it's this one, and I'm pretty sure it's something. Let's try the picture. Maybe he killed her. Wait, now she doesn't. Oh yeah, she does. I'm gonna click those things. Maybe he killed her recently. Speaking of the past, you still got a picture of Lucette from back then. Nothing escapes you, Eugene. Oh, okay. Now I see why Victor praises you so much. Got all the qualities needed to be a good historian. Picking out the details, discovering the clues, finding credible witnesses, comparing the sources. Never noticed just how similar detective work was to my own. This is moon logic. I'm sorry. I'm all finished now. That was a moon logic link. 100%. How do you explain I'm not finished now? I'm finished now with the picture. Are you still taking us for idiots? We asked you a question. Why did you keep the portrait hidden in your hideaway like that? Really? Speaking of your lair, you talk about it like it's just a place where you retreat to reminisce with press cuttings and a few boxes of letters. I think there were better links than that. Do you really think we didn't see them? The boxes of cartridges, bullet holes, damaged statues. Are you going to tell us that's how it was when you found it? Those are much better clues. No. You're right. I'm sorry, Victor. Your father got dragged into this. After all, I should know better to mess with your father's legacy. I grew up in the upper echelons of the Bordeaux Bourgeois, where everything was to be just so, where once you're an adult you must fulfill your designated life. Basically rich people. Lawyer, doctor, officer. In 1914 it was my father's turn and he took his place, fulfilled his role, didn't question anything. But in 40, when it was my turn to step up to defend the country, I was discharged. Well, I got myself discharged. I wasn't up to do it. And there was that whole mess, the French army on the ropes, the government retreated to Tours, then Bordeaux, then Clermont, and finally Vichy. The German occupation of my country's humiliated, so I had the opportunity to help almost by chance, almost despite myself, to join the resistance. I had the perfect cover. Conformist, middle-class university professor, easy access to the university's basement. Didn't take a particularly big risk sitting there messing with false papers in my warm little cave. The only contact I had with the outside world was the occasional request for false papers left in the dead drop. And let's face it, times were tough, and my equipment meant I could also forge ration coupons in next to no time. Okay. Now we gotta do something here. So I had an opportunity to help almost by chance. Probably, that seems true. I had a perfect cover. That seems true. I didn't take a particularly big risk sitting here. That could not be true. The only contact I have with the outside world was occasional requests for false papers. That could also not be true. Let's face it, times were tough. And that one's okay. So it's either I didn't take a particularly big risk sitting there messing with false papers in my warm little cave, or the only contact I have with the outside world was the occasional request for false papers. I feel like both of those could probably be contradicted. Well, wasn't there that note? What about that note? The note thingy. This thingy. What about this note thingy? Aha! We got it. A message from Hypotenuse names your alias Stone as one of the lieutenants. Granzermon's lieutenants. Yes, I had a small role to play, but it was just acting as a liaison between the cells. I was never in the field and was never in any danger. I stayed in the shadows and I just wanted a little of the limelight. So where does my father come into the picture? I'm afraid I'd rather use your father. After the war, I didn't expect to receive the highest honors. But still, I waited and waited and waited for my country to recognize my patriotism. So when I met Victor, I saw an opportunity. I decided to make him my herald in ex-resistance circles. I had enough information and details about my fallen comrades in arms to make him into a great fighter. There weren't many alive that could have picked up on his story's inconsistency. So he was a liar? A string of military feats and bold maneuvers? Lost to time, just like their true authors? Once in place, Victor could help me advance my reputation and recommend me for an award. What's left for us resistance veterans? We will go into the shadows, as the partisan song goes. No, I won't do it. Like all these resistance operatives of 46 could have managed anything at all without me. I'm still here and I deserve to be recognized for my efforts too. The medal, the awards, I've earned them. I still have them, no matter what. And I will have them no matter what, and no one's going to tell me I haven't earned it. Ooh. Okay. Okay, what's left for, go to shadows. Won't do it. Means, yeah, that one could be, I've earned them. Okay. Whoops. I don't know if we have anything here that would contradict this. Yeah, I haven't mentioned anything about him though, so we don't have to have anything about Victor. Nothing about Victor here, so. No, not that. Okay. No. Alright. Don't think any of these other things would help. Maybe this. Okay, I guess that's why he doesn't remember him, because he was fake. He made him up. Interesting. Maybe that's what somebody said. Somebody said about Bernard something, maybe. Martin seems to know the most about him, like when it comes to stuff, so let's look at his dialogue. He avoids the limelight. No medals. Oh, there we go. He avoids the limelight. Martin told us you find all these commemorations pretty ridiculous. Very well. You want the truth? You can have it. Why did the music just stop? I can't stand seeing my city becoming a theater for the national debacle. It's been the fallback capital for successive governments ever since the Germans picked up the bad habit of invading us. When France was on the brink, its destiny plays out in Bordeaux. My family has always been a sad reflection of that destiny. In 1871, my grandfather withered before the enemy, voting to amputate part of our nation and to repress those who still wanted to fight. Man, I am still hot. In 1914, his son, the ashamed heir, redeemed the family name when he gave his life at the Battle of Marne, leaving me an orphan who saw that sacrifice frittered away by just a few days of cowardice in 1940. Put yourself in my shoes.
Coming through.
I had a grandfather who sullied the city name in 1871, redeemed only by my father's victory. Bordeaux la victoire. But a generation later, yet another cowardly government crumbled and gave the way. I wish I died in the Battle of Montcornet rather than seeing it come to this. So, Mr. Payroy, what do you say? Our country needs men like you right now. You're known and respected here. You've got connections everywhere. Your books on the military history of France and Germany are renowned. In meetings, you'll be listened to and put forward our... Mr. Mendel, please follow us. Have the session started again already? I was told it wouldn't be until after 2 p.m. It's nothing to do with that. We've got our orders to escort you immediately. Okay. Lead the way. Think about my offer, Payroy. We'll see each other very soon. I look forward to hearing from you. Goodbye. I never saw him again. A few days later, the situation got worse. I had a few foreign students, and one was a Portuguese consul's son. He decided to give visas to everyone who requested one. He hoped to save hundreds of lives by allowing people fleeing to the Germans to leave the country. I was so struck, so battered by the general feeling of despair of powerlessness. I found it incredible that a foreigner would choose to do something so incongruous, so insane. Then everything was lost. The army was beaten in 3 weeks, and Bordeaux was fully occupied. I have to say that I visited the consul out of a kind of morbid, slightly cynical curiosity. So I met with him. That day, I learned something about the resistance. That the war would continue on other fronts. It didn't take me long to lend a hand. The consul, his wife, even the governess. We were all stamping any papers they could get their hands on. Even single one. Every single one a proud example of resistance against adversity, against despair. Foreigners showed me how I could fight for my country. People I trust. Then someone important. I'm someone important, you see. Oh, I thought somehow I missed one of the dialogue options. Or dialogue things. Someone who prefers to keep a low profile for now. I must board this ship, you hear me. Is of the utmost importance. And what did these trustworthy people say to you? Oh, nothing specific. Just that you may know the Portuguese consul, and that he might be able to issue visas on an exceptional basis, and that he had delegated some of his discretionary powers. Yes, I see. I'm worried I won't be able to board if... But the consul had to flee the country, leaving behind all his headed papers, stamps, etc. I didn't have a clear plan, but I seized the opportunity to collect all the materials. I put them in a safe place in the university basement. I thought the situation would improve. The consul would return at some point. But when I finally realized he wasn't coming back, I had to act. One of my students came to see me. He was Jewish and wanted to leave, so I gave him a visa and a map of the region. A few weeks later, during one of my lectures, I noticed a man standing near the doors, watching closely. That's probably bad. Oh, I can control stuff. I have control. Oh, he's following me. He's following me. Look, it's in black and white too. Mr. Payroy, be more careful. Excuse me. Come again. A young man crossed the Spanish border a few days ago. He couldn't stop mentioning you, praising your services. I'm sorry, I don't understand. You must be mistaken. Excuse me, they're waiting for me yet. I don't need to tell you that in times like these, this kind of reputation might cause you problems with deadly consequences. I don't think your position as a leading figure at the local scene will save you. We need to find you a code name, my friend. So I went underground, and thus Stone was born. I was quickly put into touch with Francis Granstermond, head of the network. He was charismatic with a natural magnetism which brought people into his orbit. He woke up a lot of people who, like me, thought everything was lost. With my background and pedigree as a military historian. I was able to help analyze the situation, our needs, our objectives, etc. They appointed me as a lieutenant in the OCM. The network spread all over the Southwest. It was a ray of hope in those dark times. There was huge enthusiasm. The group grew quickly. We had help from seasoned veterans. And London's attention. There was talk of a landing in the Southwest of 10,000 men ready to take up arms in the region. Such exponential growth came at a hefty cost. Our organization was not compartmentalized. Grand Zerman thought himself invincible and believed he could carry on outfoxing the Germans forever. There could only be one outcome. All it took was one little squeal, and his insurance company was raided. Vogel got his jackpot. Each key network member had their own file, complete with full name and alias, conveniently indexed, all stored in the same place without any encryption. It was a textbook case of suicide, a monumental waste. The leak came from Paris, a network in contact with ours. After that dreadful winter of 43, the rules were to operate in units of 3. Each member only knew one other in the trio. If a raid came, at least one of the members would be safe. But just one slip, one leak, and everyone in the network fell. One confession that rendered vain all those stubborn silences in the face of torture. They thought some blood and tears could buy a few days' head start for the companions. It all happened extremely fast, with more and more raids increasingly focused, so I went to hide in the free zone. Southwest of Bordeaux was a pipeline to get people out. Kept my head down for a few months, staying with my contact, Gabriel Tremont. I rested for a few months before I had to return to Bordeaux, which had turned into a real nest of vipers. I went to try and save the network, to save what could be saved. I found a message waiting for me, a message I'd been dreading, a message from... Yeah, I don't even know why I'm telling you youngsters this. It's pointless, you won't understand. I'm sure that if you make the effort to explain, we'll understand your story. Not everything can be explained, that's the problem, my boy. You're too young to understand this kind of thing. You have to have lived through the war with all of its pain and paranoia to understand. Who sent that message that I was dreading so much? Because if you don't already know, I might as well stop here. Was it Vogel? Oh, he killed this guy. Maybe it was this guy. Probably this guy. You received a message from Aristide? Yes. It was Aristide. I remember it like it was yesterday. So I met with Aristide to explain myself. That's right. I remember this message. Did we have the message? At that point, I thought Aristide might be the traitor, and that he was the one to sow doubt about Francis. But he was very persuasive. I came away thoroughly convinced that Francis had to be put out of his misery. It was a rational decision, a cold calculation. It wasn't really important whether or not he actually betrayed the cause. The mere fact that he was still in charge of the network had already done enough damage. The Bordeaux resistance days could be numbered if nothing was done. As his lieutenant, he asked me to get back in touch with Ronzermond. It wasn't difficult to locate him. The Germans had let him go. However, we didn't expect Lucette to be with him. It was too late to change the plan at that point. We were to escort them to a runway in Ambris, on the edge of the land's forest. From there, they were to be collected by the plane and taken to Algiers to face a military court. At least that's what I'd been told. Oh, so he didn't directly kill them? On the way, he told me that the rendezvous had been canceled. The plan had changed. We were to execute them on the spot. Oh, maybe he did. I objected. I protested. They had the right to a military trial. That's what organization rules said. Francis knew what was at stake when he chose to compromise himself to Vogel. He knew the consequences. But Lucette had nothing to do with that. He told me that she'd been there during the meetings at Francis' place, that she could only cause trouble with the Germans sooner or later, and that there was no turning back. I resigned myself to it. I insisted on taking care of it myself. I told the Brit that it was a matter for the French. Letting a rest I do it wouldn't have made me less guilty, but it wouldn't have made me less guilty, but it would have made me a coward. Oh no. We gotta do it. Boom. Okay, and now the screen's black. I fired. Yes, I executed both of them. I didn't see any hatred, any reproach in Lucette's eyes as she died. Just that same compassion and mercy she always had. To gathered the courage to take on this duty, to face up to my responsibilities. The worst thing was that she accepted her fate without fighting, without argument. Made me a killer, a willing executor. Though she'd already forgiven me, her face still haunts my dreams. Every day, every night. Did my father have a part in this decision? Oh no, don't you worry, Catherine. Your father had nothing to do with it. He only came to Bordeaux after the war. You only arrived after the war. You were already there with him when we first met. Gabriel, my friend from Nerick, sent him to me. He had nothing but good things to say. Your father told me about about wanting to teach at the university. Must admit, I was dubious, to say the least. You don't get tenure just like that. It's a long, hard road to get there. Ask Martin what he thinks about all of it. Then he showed me what he could do. Whipped up a course on the economy of the medieval St. Louis. Just like that. I was amazed. I quickly realized I was dealing with a genius and that our university would benefit from having him on the faculty. Then I thought to myself, the city, its various luminaries, the faculty, they hadn't exactly covered themselves in glory with their collaboration during the war. No, none more than our dean at the time. Shortly after the liberation, they made me deputy dean to try and keep him under control. If I suggested a former resistance member as a lecturer, they weren't going to turn down a chance to improve their image, and they might be willing to overlook some of the paperwork when it came to experience, diplomas, etc. Alright, I went back to my little counterfeiting workbench and knocked together a few things we needed. Confidential but respected references, a perfectly serviceable scholar pedigree at several universities that were well known, but a bit far away, Cairo, Brazzaville, etc. In the post-war years, so many records and documents had been destroyed that nobody was going to contradict it. The rest was child's play, a false passport for you and your father, like I'd done a million times before, but I'll spare you the details. It was just like posting a letter. The war grew more distant, memories faded, and people moved on to other things, rebuilding the future. Everyone who'd known me in the resistance was dead. Almost everyone, anyway. At the liberation, there were quite a few people who knew Stone, but no one left who knew the man behind the name. Bernard Payroy, resistance member. And that suited me just fine. I was ready to live with what I'd done, to take responsibility, but not in front of everyone, not in front of all those people who just sat there patiently waiting for the end of the war. Yet still quick to pass judgment on choices they never had to make. Then Vogel was caught. That was in '66. He was brought to France to be judged, but the trial took time. In the meantime, snippets of interviews with Francis started to come out, and some he had with Lucette too. The more I heard, the more I learned. The more I heard, the more I learned, the more obsessed I became, the more it all came back to haunt me. I had to be sure. I had to make up my own mind about it all. The conclusion was clear and unambiguous. Lucette never betrayed anyone. Aristide, and Aristide alone made the decision to kill her, no one else. He had to pay. And that's where your father comes in. I mean, I got him to intervene without him knowing. I don't understand. How did he have anything to do with it when he wasn't even there in 43? You'll see. I'd already managed to get your father a position as a professor. I was going to turn him into a leading resistance fighter, someone whose invitation not even Aristide could refuse. To create the legend, we needed a catalog from memory. To create the legend we needed, I cataloged from memory everyone in my network who fell during the war. Those taken by the Germans, never to be seen again. Those who lacked a family meant they'd been forgotten. I noted all the operations they'd been involved in. Armed with this cast iron timeline, I created enough false documents and records to fill the gaps in my fictitious biography. I created the life facts and heroic acts of left. How am I supposed to pronounce that? Lefebvre, the perfect resistance fighter. As a historian, I knew this fiction wouldn't stand up for long. That journalists and archivists would eventually find inconsistencies. There's always someone. But all I needed was for my little creation to last long enough to get Aristide within reach. And now the day has come. If you'll excuse me, I've got an execution to attend to. And nothing and no one's going to stop me. Oh no. Oh no. Lucette wouldn't want that. How dare you speak for her? That woman was the strongest and most courageous woman I've ever met. She knew what her involvement meant, risks involved. We all knew. As the wife of a network leader, she knew it better than anyone. We all distracted by those petty squabbles, those damaging disagreements between the networks. Lucette would want me to avenge them all, to right this injustice, to make someone pay. No, she wouldn't. I think you're wrong. That doesn't sound like her. Yeah, I think this is the thing we want. I don't think she would want to. Did anybody talk about her? Her faith sustained her. She seemed to accept her fate. I was always ready to forgive. There we go. Bam. We know she died without bitterness, and she even forgave Vogel. Lucette wouldn't have wanted you to hang on to this grudge. Hearing you talk about her makes me think she wouldn't have wanted you to kill Aristide. For you to take your revenge. She'd want you to forgive him. I don't forgive all that easily. I'm not as good a Christian as Lucette. What Aristide did was cynical. He convinced me that an innocent woman was guilty, and I executed her. Who can I possibly forgive in all this? No. yourself. Yourself. You can forgive yourself. Bernard, you should forgive yourself. That's it. Must have some things to say. I'll stay with him to make sure he doesn't cause any trouble. Dad. Dad. I think it's better if I wait here. Dad. Yes, my darling. What is it? I've discovered that a few things I thought I knew about you were lies, just like everything else. Why did you lie to me about what you did during the war? You were never in the Bordeaux Resistance with Bernard. And what about Neric? When were you planning to tell me? I'm not finished. And to cap it all, you're not even a real university professor? Catherine, listen, you hear me? Never lied to you. Did I ever tell you I was in the resistance during the war? Yes, you did. Maybe not. Anyway, that's not the point. I teach at the university every day. I've got an office. I've got students. So how can you say I'm not a professor? You've got an answer for everything, haven't you? Except for the questions which really matter. So you coming? You've got to catch the train. I thought you'd take it worse than that. I didn't come out of that so badly after all. You think so? Eugene, well done. You managed to persuade Bernard to break his silence. And that's no mean feat, believe me. I'm worried that the most difficult part is yet to come for Catherine. For you too. Oh no. Well, this is the end of the game then. Victor, I think I already know the answer, but we'd all be spared this drama if... Are you sure you wouldn't be simpler if you just sat down with Catherine and simply calmly told her your story? Simply, calmly. Unfortunately, I think both of those things have been sort of lacking in my life. You might think it's cowardly, all this subterfuge. Please, I'm asking you to see this investigation through. Then you can give me your opinion. Okay, Victor, I'll try. I'll try to see it through to the end. Trust the journey. Okay, I'm off then. Catherine's waiting outside. Goodbye. Ah, Bernard, how are you? I'm well, given the circumstances. I've just got back from the meeting. You know, the meeting. And Aristide, you spoke to him? He was the same as ever, about as friendly as a prison door and silent as the grave. All the SOE secrets and little schemes still come back to bite us in the arse. But what can you do? We've all got to make our own choices and live with the consequences. All I can tell you is that there will be a full dossier on the judge's desk tomorrow, enough to clear Vogel, of that crime at least. And all those dossiers he built up over the years, the occupation, the resistance, not a single one mentions my father. Let me guess, you're going to tell me even the little I knew was made up. Am I right? Catherine, you've got to understand, I put him in this impossible position. He owed me after I sorted his papers for the university. I took advantage of his gratitude, the fact that he's not the type to make a fuss. One of many things I need to make amends for, because I lied to him. About what? Aristide. Victor didn't know what I was going to do. Eugene, Catherine, I'm sorry I threatened you with a gun. Twice? Twice? You threatened us with a gun twice? These last few months have been difficult for me as the trial got closer. But I can assure you that normally I'm much less feral. Eugene, I'm wondering if I wouldn't be better if I just forgot all this. I'm worried about what I'm going to discover about my father. Yesterday I thought he was this great resistance hero. What am I going to find out tomorrow? That he was a collaborator? And the day after that, a crypto-Nazi? Oh, your father really did fight during the war, and on the right side. I can assure you of that. I owed Gabriel big time for hiding me in Neric, but believe me, I'd never I never have dealt with a collaborator. Never. Gabriel gave me his word that Victor was an ex-officer returned from the camps in Germany, and he was having trouble readjusting to civilian life and needed help moving to Bordeaux. My father? An officer? Right. I'll let you catch a train. I've got an old friend to meet. Apologies to make and a retirement resignation letter to write. What? Yes, I'm going to take a permanent break from the university. It's time. They're moving the whole load of old codgers to new digs. They won't have me. I'll see if I can be of any help here and there. Perhaps they'll find a use for me with a new archaeology museum project. And I'd like to spend some time in my book about the resistance members whose stories I pillaged to create Victor's legend. They might not have families to remember them, but they have me. I owe them that much. I also owe Lucette. Well said. Ah, and here you are, young people. A Petrus 58, a wonderful bottle perfect for a wonderful occasion. I was planning to drink it to celebrate my revenge, and now I'm giving it to you. Try to put it to good use, eh? Ooh. We got some wine. Some wine. Nice. Alright. Now we're going to the train station. I went to via my rail to check how you've been doing. Rumors are already running wild at the university. What? Bernard told me everything, but I didn't believe it until Victor confirmed it. They told me you left for the station, but they wouldn't tell me where. Said I'd have to find out for myself. Don't tell me you're headed back to Paris already. Do you want me to leave you, or... We're going to Nuremberg. Oh, for the investigation? Listen, Catherine, I admit you were right in having doubts about your father. No, really. Alrighty, I deserve that. But I'm here to make amends. Before you leave, I really need... Martin, the train is leaving. We need to go. Bye, Martin. To play you something. Oh, we did it. We made no mistakes. We're so good. Look at that. Look at how good we are. We're the best. I made so many mistakes last time. Can we just, like, stop playing now? I think we just stop playing now.